Well, good evening, folks. This is Resistance News, and I'm commonly called Bob Earthwise. Welcome to your news show, where you can netcast to all about your actions of resistance. And we're here every week on Darkcity Radio. DAs, or direct actions, drive progress. And whether it be from Rosa Parks on an Alabama bus,
10 seconds,
to the tank man in Tiananmen Square, these are the people that have affected real societal change.
We don't need someone to come along and tell us how to live in our community. We've got to make a peaceful, honest, honourable stand to the best of our ability to stop this going on.
And now, please welcome the Darkcity Radio Resistance News Crew.
Are you there, Bob? Bob Earthwise? Yeah, I'm speaking. I can see it working on the server, Sadama. Are you speaking?
I
am.
Yeah, okay, Bob. Your show started, mate.
Oh, has it? Hello, everyone.
Hello, Bob.
Welcome to Resistance News. I don't know what the weather like where all you people are, but it is blistering here. Totally blistering. It's topped 30 degrees. And luckily I'm at a family barbecue. So it's all good here. Now this week, we're going to be talking about roads. It's probably not the right temperature because it gets people quite heated. You will have followed over the weeks, if you've been listening, our lovely friend Boris's involvement in the Bexhill to Hastings Link Road. And today they had what was supposed to be a no roads rally. And, well, we'll get Boris in. How you doing, Boris?
Yeah, okay, Bob. Good to be back, really. Good to have a rest for a minute and chat with you guys again, you know.
Yay!
Yeah.
Right, this, I guess it's a road to nowhere rally, isn't it? Really?
Well, it was the national rally against road building, set up by a group called Roads to Nowhere, and there was 3 walks, a few other different walks out through the valley. There was like 3 meeting places, and then they all met in one place, and we had people like Campaign for Rural England and Greenpeace, and then doing some talking and stuff. I've got to admit, because it was a national day, I expected a lot more people than turn up. Now maybe that was just me, but at most there must have been 200 people in all. I mean, is that good? You know, with the road programme that it was against, doesn't seem like many people, mate.
Well, I guess on a beautifully hot sunny day to get 200 there is probably a good going, I would have thought, depending on who the people were.
Yeah, the people themselves that turned up, you know, they were strange. There was middle class people from cities and hippie kids. But I've got to tell you about one guy that I met. Right, can I just read a letter quickly? Yeah, it says, "I'm devastated about the Bexhill Link Road. I think it will mean complete destruction of the beautiful wildlife and countryside. It will also destroy a lot of habitats. Me and my parents go on a walk from my house through Bluebell Woods and Crowhurst. It will be completely destroy this walk. I am also worried about the lovely animals getting run over, and all the farm animals, and even people's lovely cats and dogs. I know where it is going because I can see the big, horrid red and white poster. I'm begging you, please support what I have said." And that's from James, age 9. And I met James, age 10 today. in the middle of the marshes with his video camera. He's going to send us some videos through so we can put them on YouTube and stuff. This 10-year-old boy, mate, was so angry at what he was seeing in front of him. It was just amazing, you know. It brought tears to my eyes. He was probably the most cooled up one there out of everybody, you know. Unbelievable it was. Yeah.
A little 10-year-old.
A little 10-year-old, mate. He wrote that letter, and like I say, today he was out with a video camera making videos of the destruction and doing it all to go and show his friends and to take to school for a project.
Boris, send me the footage. I'll make a piece of audio for the show.
Yes, we will. Yeah, we'll get footage and everything off him. Honestly, he was so cooled up. I think I walked about 2 miles with him, talking about things. We were trying to tell him not to get angry and shout at the security guards because it doesn't do any good. But there's other times when you can get angry and shout at security guards. Yeah, no, you know, he was just so clued up. And then he told me he wrote the letter in the paper, so my Joe keeps all the letters, so we've just looked through and found it, and I thought I'd read it out to you all, because I think that's brilliant, you know?
Is that what you just read out, or are you going to read it now?
That was what I just read out, Bob.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that.
If I can read something else out now, this one's a, oh, crikey, there's loads of posts turned up. Why does everyone want to talk to me when I'm on the show? Right, this is a post from someone called Pagan. Her back garden backs straight onto the road. The road build is coming up to her fence, you know, maybe even taking her fence.
Oh, Boris?
Yeah?
Can we just deal a bit more with this roads, no more roads thing?
Yes, sure, mate. Sure.
I gather that there was all the usual NGO bods there holding up their little "I am from Greenpeace, I'm from Friends of the Earth" sort of thing. Was that the case?
Yeah. Friends of the Earth weren't there. I know some guys from Friends of the Earth Hastings. They were there, but not representing Friends of the Earth. Yeah, Greenpeace were there. There wasn't any big Greenpeace banners or anything like that. Campaign for Rural England were there. The Sussex Wildlife Trust were there. But to be quite honest, the sound wasn't too good, and I kept getting distracted talking to other people to do with what we're doing, you know, to do with the campaign.
No, I also, from chatting with you earlier, you were going to set up an information stall so that you could actually corner people and talk to them and get little sound bites from them. Did that happen?
Well, I got one soundbite, Bob, which I'm just finding now, and then I should be able to play it. No, it didn't happen because I took my banner, mate. What we did, we left here because when we found out the route of the walks, that they weren't going down through Sidley, me and a couple of mates from up here walked down through Sidley because we'd leafleted the place for blooming weeks, you know. We'd been telling everybody about it, and then the walks didn't come through that way. They skirted round the Sidley area. So we went down onto the road route and took our banner along the road route, which meant I had to walk the whole route when I got there a bit late. I did manage to catch up with the defenders though, the Coomhaven defenders, and managed to get a chat off them. I'm going to try and play it now to you, if that's okay.
Sure, yeah.
Let me find it. Select. Options. I'm hoping this works. I'm just going to hold my phone up to my mic up to the other mic.
How long is it? A couple of minutes?
Let me have a quick look. It is. It doesn't tell me. Yeah, a couple of minutes, mate.
All right, cool.
Okay, I'm going to play it now.
Resistance News on Darkcity Radio. I'm at the Crowhurst National Anti-Roads Rally today, and with me is Anthony from the Coomhaven Defenders.
Hi, how you doing? Yeah, it's great to be here. Beautiful, beautiful day. We're sitting now on the recreation ground, which is just a few hundred metres from where they're building the road. We've had lots of people go out and have a look around and do walks across the valley and let people know, let them see what they're losing. We're not even one year into the build now, and they've got another 3 years to go, and it's just destruction. It's just destruction. It's so demoralising and depressing to watch it, but it's so great that there's so many people here today that are really opposed to it and are prepared to do stuff to keep on opposing it. And obviously we're here because, you know, Osborne is planning to build loads of them all over the country. So we've got to make a stand now and let people know that, you know, we don't want these roads. Most of them are roads to nowhere, don't do anything, they're not going to boost the economy. It's a complete folly that they will ever do that. It's going back to the dark ages, 20 years ago when we had roads that people campaigned against. So it's a struggle, but we're going to keep fighting and making sure that these roads don't continue.
And the key main defenders, you went up to the Department of Transport?
Yeah, we went up there because of this particular road, the Bexhill Hastings Link Road, is it's quite. I mean, it's controversial. All roads are controversial, but this was done a bit sneaky. You know, like the government asked for its own document on what the feasibility of this road was and whether it was value for money. And it turns out that in this document, it suggested that it wasn't good value for money. That there were overstated the need for jobs. That there was going to be jobs at the end of it. It's a usual argument. There's going to be jobs at the end of the road. You know, we're going to build this. We're going to build that. And none of it's ever been sort of catalogued or you know, made sort of. It's never really been proven. So we went to the Department of Transport to try and get this document, which was meant to be a public document anyway, and it was pretty sneaky that we weren't allowed to see it. And of course, now it has been revealed. Yeah, we find out that this road actually, probably wasn't a road that should be funded at all, and that it was low value for money. So we feel like we were justified in doing that and saying that.
Did you see the reports from East Sussex County Council this week for their extra 13 million, where they're going to take the bus lane away and the...
All right, Bob?
Sorry, yeah, I just unmuted while that was on. Yeah, that was the end of it, was it?
Yeah, it does talk on a little bit more if you want me to carry on playing it. But I was going to go on to the 13 million extra in a minute.
All right. This walk that they had today, did they not miss out a major bit of it where there was the interface between local residents and the destruction?
Yeah, they missed out the whole of that walk. That's why we didn't set the stall up, because we did some of that walk to show local residents that people do care.
Okay, I mean, do you think that there was a positive outcome to today, or is it more of the same old?
The positive outcome I saw myself today was the people from all of our little local groups were all there. So for the first time, we were all in the same place together, putting faces to names after the last 9 months to a year, whatever. That was really good.
It's amazing what the weather can do, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Yeah, I think there's a local pub, and a lot of people have gone back to the pub, so there's going to be a lot of talking there tonight. That's always a good thing, in my opinion. You know, the campaign for rural England were on about were going on about fracking as well as the roads programme.
Oh, good.
Yeah, there was quite a lot of stuff about fracking on view there.
Oh, really?
Information-wise, yeah, leaflets and things.
This is because of Balcombe, presumably.
Yeah, and also because there's other sites on the South Downs as well, in the national park area that they're looking at. So they're making a big thing about they turn it to a national park and now they're fracking it, right?
Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, unbelievable. But yeah, that'll all come under these new planning laws if they go through, won't it? Where the developers will be able to develop on a nature reserve as long as they build another one somewhere else.
Well, yeah, that's the way they try and con everyone, isn't it? And, there are fortunately a number of us that realise that it is a con, and nature doesn't happen overnight. It's, thousands of years process, isn't it? As you well know, with all the hedgerows and things.
Well, yeah, I mean, a guy down here, I chat with the security guys every day. Certain guy comes from up north and he's a farmer and knows what he's on about, sort of thing, with the countryside, so he says. And chatting with them, about all that kind of Oh, God, I forgot my flow now. God, what did you say, Bob? Sorry, mate. It's been a long day.
Well, I was just trying to sort of sort out how people were thinking about it. You know, well, obviously about this project, but I was more interested in how people were feeling about future projects that haven't started or haven't got planning permission, because there's, something like 700 miles of road in the pipeline.
In the pipeline, there is 200 new road projects, conservatively costing about £30 billion, including 76 bypasses, 56 road winding schemes, 48 link roads, 9 bridges and tunnels. Most of them going through areas of conservation, landscape, heritage reasons, 4 national parks, 7 areas of outstanding national beauty, 39 triple SIs and 64 ancient woodlands, with 234 local wildlife sites. And that was the main message that was being put across today. That's what's coming to the UK, and this scheme's the first of it.
Well, that sounds like sustainable development with a massive sledgehammer.
Yeah, doesn't it? And it's all being backed by the Prime Minister, the Chancellor, and the Secretary of State for Transport, Patrick McLaughlin.
Well, we all know why, don't we?
Yeah, because they're going to be skint soon. They need to grab what they can out of us before they do it, and out of the countryside and out of everything before they're gone.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's a way of getting public funds into private pockets, and the Tories do this every sodding time they're in power.
Yeah, don't they, just? Was that a 12% or 11% they got this week for themselves?
It's about 10, I think. But even so, you know, everyone that works for them, all the civil servants, they've only got a 1%.
Yeah, I know. It's disgusting, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, how would you feel if you were working for somebody and they got 10 times what you got as a pay rise, and they were the ones that were telling you that you had to pull your shirt tails in?
Well, that's why I left work, Bob, to be honest.
Well, it's all BS, isn't it, at the end of the day, the whole lot of it.
Totally.
And everyone's scamming whatever they can out of all the rest of us.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the majority are still going, yeah, right.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's being skimmed and scammed, and they're just putting up with it. Going, oh, well, if they say it's all right, it must be all right.
I was chatting with a good friend of ours, actually, today, and we were talking about the pollution zone in London.
Oh, yeah?
And the, if you go in it without the right vehicle, it costs you £100 a day to be in it. And this new zone affected over 10,000 van drivers, right? The vast majority of which just said, well, I can't work anymore, so they're now all signing on.
Terrible, isn't it?
I can see the sense in having a less pollutive zone, but it's just done so hardcore.
Well, in Brighton, they've tried it differently. In Brighton, they've taken the whole city limit down to 20 miles an hour.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, past all the schools around here, it's 20 miles an hour. And in fact, if it dropped to 10 or 15, there would be no pedestrian problems or pedestrian injuries at all.
Does it not cause more pollution, though, Bob? Not being able to get your trucks and cars into gear?
Well, no, not really, because it just runs in second gear, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what we found when we were over there. We was in second gear the whole time for about an hour and a half.
But yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, this rally thing, do you think that the NGOs, the ones that really haven't done anything to help you guys, do you think that they've got some mileage out of it again? Pictures in the paper, we're here, we're saying it's no good, but that's all we do.
Pictures in the paper. The photographer, is his name Adrian Arib? He rushed me home in his car so that he could upload the photos to the Independent using our wireless. So they were rushed out quick. I don't know what he was saying to him. He was just taking the photos.
Oh, right, you didn't get to see him.
No, I didn't get to see the photos. He just came in with his laptop, sat there, and we let him get on with what he needed to do to get him out there quick.
Oh, well, that's good of you to do that.
Well, that's what we're here for, isn't it? I actually met the guy at Fairmile in 1995, 96, I think.
Oh, right. So he wasn't a total stranger then.
No, not at all, no. He was, just a quick one here, just privately to you. He's a good friend of Star's.
Oh, right, okay.
Because that's where me and Joe met Star before as well. So all this kind of old road protesting thing, we all realised we've known each other for quite a while.
For those of you that are listening, Star is somebody I met last summer, and she, is a really nice lady and knows her onions.
And I met her when she was 15 and she was hanging off a tree on a road protest, Fairmile road protest, hanging up a tree.
It's amazing how small the world is, isn't it, really?
Yeah, definitely, it is a small world. Yeah, and getting smaller all the time.
Yeah. So, do you think, apart from perhaps a few of these people getting their pictures in the Independent tomorrow, anything else of benefit came out of today?
I hope that they listen to some of the local speakers, like Derek Coffey from the Hastings Alliance. I do hope that they were standing about listening to him, and I hope they listened to the Coombe Defenders speeches as well, because they were, because they're local and there and what was going on. They were getting the point across, and I hope that the big NGOs took notice of that.
Yeah.
And I hope they grab it and use it and publicise it, and
Well, we'll see. There's no way of knowing, is there, at the end of the day? I mean, I suspect that, these money-grabbing charity organisations just follow their own path anyway.
Well, I remember on the very first day of this campaign, Bob, you said to me, Boris, you can only lead the horse to the water.
That's right.
So that's all what we've been doing,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'd like to sort of get into the actual road scheme stuff now, and you'll probably go bright red now, Boris. I'm sorry, mate, but I did read a letter to your local paper where somebody was thanking you, and you don't know who they were. They just wrote into the paper and said, Boris, thank you for everything you're doing, all the information you're bringing out. And I guess without you doing it, brother, nobody would know anything, would they?
Well, there is a few of us. It's been a life thing, mate. For the last 30 years, it's just took us over. I met a guy today I used to work with, and he said, you fucking told me, Boris. You told me they'd do it. You told me you'd be down here from day one, didn't you, you bugger? It's just been a bug in my side. I didn't want them to do it, We tried everything to stop them. Everything.
Well, I think what I'm trying to get at, Boris, is you're walking the talk. And people are recognising that, and not everyone can do it. I know that, and not everyone has got the time to do it all the time.
That's it.
But people are noticing that you are. I was just trying to, big you up a little bit and give you a pat on the back for it all. That was all. Before we got into all the stuff that's just going to make me spit when I hear about it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, carrying on from that letter, I found out today, I know the guy's daughter, I was talking to her today, and the letter was edited. They're going to send me a copy of the actual letter that he wrote to the newspaper, yeah?
Oh, wow. So there's more to that yet, then?
Yeah, it was edited before it was printed.
God, they're terrible, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah,
it's the internet. They don't need to edit any of it.
I know.
There's no print limit.
Oh.
In space,
Yeah.
Right then, let's get on to this road then, shall we?
Right, yeah. Right, here we go then. Sure. Well, they got another £13 million this week. They needed another 13 million. They sent the council, and the council sent a begging letter to the council asking them for £13 million more funding. Since Well, I think it's about 6 million of that. I've got the figures just been thrown at me now. Yeah, well, it's handy, isn't it? It's handy print internet. Recommended to the County Council to vary the capital programme as set out in Appendix 4 with the effecting of increasing the Council's capital contribution to the BHLR scheme by 7.19 million for current construction costs, as well as provision for protester risks of 6.161 million.
Oh, really? God, they've upped that a bit then.
Yeah, and they upped it even more in Cabinet. I know that's the risk, that's what it's going to cost them. They say it's going to cost another 6 million.
That's unbelievable, isn't it? So they must be paying you really well then, Boris.
Well, they must be, mustn't they? The local papers actually started backing it this week and putting stuff like, oh, not saying it directly, but look what the protests are costing out of your budget, you know.
Yeah, well, that was always going to happen, isn't it? That they want to turn the screws.
Well, you know, yeah, we know what's happening, you know. We know what's going on.
Well, yeah. I also, I mean, this is one of the things that really did make me spit when I read it, and that was where they are getting this funding from. I mean, it's already allocated to other projects, and they're screwing the other projects just to make this shortfall.
Yeah, I mean,
perhaps you could tell us about one of the projects that's now going to get shelved.
Right, using the provision allocated for the wind farm project. Now, I must admit, the wind farm project, that's the first I've heard of a wind farm project. I've been involved in the road a lot, so I don't look at other things really on council websites. But yeah, I'm not sure how much that was going to be. But yeah, so wind farm, eh? Get rid of the wind farm because we're building the road now. One of the councillors in his meeting, we saw the webcast of the meeting, and the councillor said, let me think, he said, at least the road won't ruin your view. And a government policy to do with electricity at the moment, when they're not sure whether it's going to be wind farms or nuclear, so we'll just take the money and see which way it goes, sort of thing. Unbelievable it was. Unbelievable.
Well, there is a certain amount of irony, isn't there? A project that develops renewable energy and is clean, versus a road that pollutes and doesn't really fulfil any proper commercial or sustainable future for the local population. It's ridiculous that one's now being ripped apart to fund the other one.
Totally. Another thing they did was make use of reserves that have been planned for use in 2012-13 and which were ultimately not required. Now, what do they mean by reserves and not required? East Sussex County Council have just cut services by 100 million. You know?
Well, that's even more sickening, isn't it?
Yeah.
That they can have these little nest eggs tucked away and people are just totally suffering as a consequence. You know, it's spitting time again.
Yeah, they just kept going on about risk all the time and putting the money up. And when one of the councillors, I think his name was Councillor Tutt, asked for what would the price be if today we vote for the construction and for it all to stop versus what you're telling us you need the extra money for. And they said, we're not prepared to answer that question with public and press.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's right. Graham's just reminded me because it's commercially sensitive. And that's what they kept using them words a hell of a lot. Commercially sensitive information, not available to public and press.
I would suggest that should be available under Freedom of Information request.
Yeah, afterwards though, that comes in, you know.
Well, I think that they must have that document already, and if it does exist, then as a local resident, you would all be entitled to see that document. You know, we're not quite Stasi yet, are we?
Well, I've never put one in before, so we'll chat later or tomorrow or something. You can explain to me how to put one in.
Sure, yeah. It's quite easy. I'll dig out some of the ones I've sent in and give you a template to work on.
Brilliant. Another thing they've done as well is the Department for Transport, when they gave the 56 million from government, there was a few different provisos on it. You know, you've got to do this and you've got to do this, you've got to do this. And one of the things was to alleviate Bexhill Road even further by putting a bus lane on it. So it's a wide road, you know, and it's only 2 lanes.
Yeah.
So, you know, shorten the lanes and put a bus route along there. They're taking the money from that as well. And they said because now they've worked out afterwards, all they need to do is put bus-sensitive traffic lights in one junction. And that'll be good enough.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so when the bus comes...
If the bus is caught behind a whole bunch of cars and can't get close enough to the traffic light to trigger it, it's not going to work, is it?
No, it's just more stuff. And this junction they're talking about, they've actually taken a school down for there about 15 years ago and moved it somewhere else because of the amount of lead in the air was killing the kids at the school.
Oh, from fuel?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons this link road's been built, is to alleviate that junction, to stop that happening down near Hastings.
Okay, and what's all the petrol people buying now?
Unleaded.
Yeah, I mean, maybe unleaded doesn't mean it hasn't got lead.
No, I think it's just lower level lead, isn't it? I'm not sure.
No, it means unleaded. It means sans plomb. There's none of it in it.
Right.
The valves, the reason lead was in it was to lubricate valves and rings in an engine.
Yeah.
And they make them out of different materials now, and it doesn't need lubricating with the fuel.
Well, I got you. There is still nasty stuff comes out the back of our engines, though, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, particularly with fossil fuels, you get sulfur dioxides and all sorts of nasty stuff. I mean, at least if it's recycled vegetable oil, there's no sulfur dioxide. I mean, there is still obviously carbon monoxide to a point and carbon dioxide. But I mean, to have a project like this link road on the proviso that it's going to take lead pollution away from the population is kind of ridiculous.
It's only going to move it. It's not going to take it away. It's just going to move it to another part. So, you know, where other people can go and breathe it in instead.
Well, fortunately, there's not lead anymore, really. So,
the link road is taking all the traffic to the same road where the hospital is that serves about a 20 to 30 mile radius.
Oh, so ambulances are going to have fun then?
Well, they keep saying the link road's to get ambulances there quicker, and then we keep saying, but once they get on that road, it's still going to take them an hour in the traffic there.
Well, I guess, you know, if you call up an ambulance, you better take your own doctor and medical kit and everything then.
Yeah, isn't it? What else has happened? Do you remember the assault? Remember me getting assaulted and pressing criminal charges against a guy?
Oh, yeah. What happened with that then?
I got a letter back from the Crown Prosecution Services.
Right.
It says, you recently made a complaint of assault against an employee of Sher Group Limited, arising out of an incident 23rd of February on a public footpath byway adjoining Acton's Farm near Crowhurst. The employee apparently asserted that you were trespassing on land subject to a compulsory purchase order in favour of East Sussex County Council in connection with the Bexhill Hastings Link Road construction and moved you on with some application of physical coercion. Then it says, I am satisfied that the employee honestly believed that the civil law applicable to land covered by a compulsory purchase order took precedence over the law applicable to use of a public path or byway, and that he was therefore entitled to exercise enforcement powers conferred on Sher Group as High Court enforcement officers. It is also my view that this honest belief was mistaken. However, a mistake as to the provisions of the civil, as distinct from the criminal law, affords a defence against an allegation of criminal conduct.
But not for us.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
So
I mean...
ignorance is defence.
Only in civil law, though. Is that what they're saying?
They're saying only in civil law. There's no criminal case for him to answer.
But if he used physical force on you, that's not a civil matter.
No, that's it, isn't it? That's it.
Yeah, that's causing harm at the very least, and therefore it's a lawful matter, which isn't covered by civil law. It's covered by proper criminal law. So it just sounds like there's a whole bunch of whitewash on that.
Yeah, it's a Crown prosecution. I mean, we knew because he was a High Court bailiff that wouldn't go anywhere. But as we've said, the thing is exposing it, and there we go. We exposed it that they can do what they want because all they say is, "Oh, I didn't know."
Yeah.
I was ignorant of the fact.
How often would you get away with that, mate?
I wouldn't.
None of us would at the end of the day.
No.
I mean, you might end up with a ticking off or something. It may not end up in court, but if they thought that they were going to get 100 quid, they would have you there, wouldn't they?
Oh, totally, yeah. Totally. I've been arrested before and fined and community serviced and stuff like that for an offence of, I think it was conduct or language liable to cause a breach of the peace.
Which is not as bad as what happened to you.
Well, liable, I hadn't actually caused a breach of the peace, but I still had to pay fines and sentences and stuff for it all,
Yeah, it's all a scam, isn't it?
It is, totally. And these Sher Group guys, they're the ones on all the protests. They actually, on their website, they say, if you get occupied and intend to come to your yard, we'll come out for you.
Well, that's right. I mean, I've looked through the videos on their website, links that you sent me, and it is against the, what was it? The Occupied University thing.
Yeah, the Bank of Ideas.
Bank of Ideas, that was the one.
Yeah,
it was the same dudes that you've got on video the other side of the fence.
Yeah, and the same dudes, we've now been trawling through YouTube and we found the same dudes, exactly the same guys, at Trafalgar Square, Parliament Square. At Parliament Square, the same guys, mate, are dragging an old boy off and that, who's been on hunger strike for 3 days. He's not even anything to do with Occupy. It's a separate protest. In Parliament, not Parliament Square, in Trafalgar Square, the same guys have got a protester. They drop him to the floor and just start laying him, putting the boot into him. It's all on YouTube, mate. We're making all the links available soon. We're going to link it all up together, because these people need exposing.
It sounds to me that they need calling by their proper title, which is mercenary.
Exactly what they are. Mercenaries. And they're backed by the police, they're backed by the government, they're backed by the councils.
Yeah, jump in, Sparky, if you want to.
Yeah, maybe someone should, or we should occupy Shergroup.
Occupies, yeah, definitely, yeah. Their headquarters are, I can't remember, Lincoln, I think.
Their world sounds like it needs rocking.
Yeah.
Might be rock their cradle.
Well, we've told them now, so we'll have to think of something else.
Oh, okay. What else to do it then?
Yeah. Yeah, well, we told them now.
What else has been happening with the road then, Boris? It's, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here, mate.
Oh, cool. I just had a big flash across the screen there. Yeah, it's the infill stuff that's...
Oh, that makes me spit, Bob. That makes me spit. The infill stuff, right. A guy called John Shaw. I won't go too much into it. He's been a dodgy developer around this area. He has done a good job in Hastings town centre, but that's, brownfield sites. I can't complain about them, but the factories he's built on other greenbelt land outside Hastings sit there bloody empty half the time and this, that and the other. Well, he's the guy putting the dosh in. Well, not putting the dosh in, putting the planning permission in for the thing. All of the objections had to be in by the 31st of May. So we got out there, we got off our asses, we got out there and we showed people what was going to happen. We put stalls up in the town and in the villages around there. And we showed people what it was going to be, you know, because not everybody looks on the internet to find out what council are up to, do they? And we got people to sign objection forms if they didn't want to fill in, you know, if they didn't want to write their own, that they could fill in for us. And we managed to get over 500 objections in, which must have shook them a little bit, because what he's done is changed the plans a little bit and resubmitted new plans. Sort of half submitted new plans, if you know what I mean. So the time got extended for 2 months. So the guy has gone round to his, the guy sent out a letter. So they've got a lot of places. C-Space have got a lot of tenants in different factories and units and things like that, you know, in the area where they build them and they rent them out. And he sent a letter out to all of his tenants saying, I'm writing in support, saying, please can you fill in this and send it to Robert District Council. RE Bexham Gateway Road, I'm writing in support of the above application, and then comes out with loads of different reasons why. Now, there's loads of these it's not a for objection, is it? Do you know what I mean? Whatever the opposite of an objection is, there's loads of these turned up now from really prominent people. The head of the local colleges, our local MP, Greg Barker, loads and loads of businesses have all of a sudden gone, wow, yeah, we need it. And what a con that was, eh? How on earth can you get that changed, you know? I couldn't believe it. We couldn't believe it. We thought we were half on a case, you know? So,
well, the thing is, you know, there's all sorts of groups, you know, round table, etc., you know, the local lodge, you know, that they're going to club together because they're only into profit.
Yeah, Trinity College have put one of these things in as well, one of their own things, saying, as the major landowner in the area, we think it needs to be sold.
Well, they would.
Of course they would, yeah. They've been on it. They're the first ones on it. They've more or less mastered and engineered this scheme, you know.
I'm sure they have, you know, if not for themselves, because they've been advised to.
Well, they've been buying the land up since 1981.
Wow.
That's what I mean about engineered the whole bloody thing, you know. Pushed
That's 30 years.
Exactly. That's how long they've been buying the land up for. And they own something like 500,000 square acres or something of it down here.
Well, I think actually this is quite a good lesson that, you know, everyone listening, you know, needs to take on board. And that is that all those that want to build the destruction are thinking for the long haul. They're not thinking about tomorrow, next week, next year, 5 years. They are thinking 50 years and 100 years.
Yeah, they're taking as much as they can for as long as they can.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, you know, the more they can get, the quicker. Obviously, they're going to prefer that. But the whole time they're putting schemes, the starting blocks for something that's going to happen in the next 50 years. You know, I think a lot of us need to get our head away from thinking about stuff that's happening tomorrow and look at stuff that has legs to run the long term.
Yeah, totally, yeah. Can I read a message I was going to read earlier, Bob? Can I read it out?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, do it.
This is from a good friend of mine. Her name's Pagan, but the road's coming straight up to her back garden. You know, totally up to her back garden. She was going to come on the show, but you know, emotional. It's very emotional. But this is a post she sent me the other day. The fox has had her cubs, Boris, under a pile of wood just outside my back garden gate. It's on their land, and I can't move her, and they're coming to cut down the trees that they're underneath. No one cares they're going to die. I've been told the bulldozers will be coming right up to the garden gate, up to the fence post. Bye-bye, fox, cubs and trees. I'm going away. Just before they're due to do it, I can't stay and watch them pigs hiding in the woods with them. I'm going away with the dogs again.
That's outrageous, isn't it?
Yeah. Pagan's been told this week that they're going to, if they have to take any of their gardens, tough shit. We're going to take your gardens.
Well, really, they're just going, walk in and move the fence
Yep.
or
Yep.
move the boundary, and there's nothing anyone can do about that.
That's what they've told them all down there. That's why I was really hoping the walk was going to walk up there today to show them that they got some support, you know.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it sounds like the people down there have got to start looking at ways of protecting their property, don't they?
Yeah, well, you know, that's what's going on. That's exactly what people are doing.
Well, are they though?
Rally round and help. Well, so, you know, no, they're not going to, are they? You know, because most people just think, oh well, it's being done, let them do it. You know, Pagan's been trying their hardest down there to rally people round. You know, and it's not until their things getting that they start getting upset. You know.
Well, so yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people that, unless it's actually in their backyard, they're not bothered about what other people are going to go through. But it just strikes me that, I mean, there must be, 20 or 30 residents that are in that similar position?
Oh, more than that, mate, probably, what do you reckon, Graham? Probably, actually back on from both sides, from London Road and Buxton Drive side. There's a couple of hundred.
150, 200.
Yeah, 150, 200 houses.
Right, well, you'd think that'd be enough for a small little army, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, one thing...
You don't have to arm everyone, though, I don't know, I can see, grounds for a machete or two. But certainly, they need a cell phone call list so that if anyone starts on your fence, you can ring up 2 or 3 people and they'll ring up another 4 or 5 each and get people there. And, you just stand in the way and say, no, you're not doing it. Take your tools away.
Yeah, innit?
Well, they can't operate any machinery with you stood there, can they? And
no.
If you're actually on your own property, the security bozos can't do anything to you either. It would have to be, a proper plan sent to you saying that this, 2 foot, 3 foot, 1 foot, 6 inches, whatever it is, has been compulsory purchased. In which case, you should have a receipt for it. You should, and have a check.
Right, brilliant. Well, I know she's listening, Bob. She's just sent me a thing telling me that she's listening.
Well, good luck to you, Pagan, lovely. It's horrible, the stories I've been hearing, and, we're all rooting for you. And if any of the advice that we're giving out is useful, please use it and let us know how you do with it.
And she's telling us that this isn't going to happen until the end of July. That she's had a letter today saying it's going to happen at the end of July.
Well, good. That's a couple of weeks planning then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people have just got to stand up and say, no, we're not having this. It's my garden. You're not going to take the fence down. If you do, you've got me to answer to.
Yeah, and she's, with Pagan's garden, she's been well into wildlife, and not just from this country either, when things get abused in shops, this, that and the other. Anyway, she's got like, what are they called? Not turtles, tortoises.
Yeah.
And the tortoise one is at the bottom of the garden. So they're all freaked already. She's also got a fish room they built out the back to keep rare breeds of fish breeding, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that's all started getting cracks in the floor of the tanks. All the fish died.
Oh, no.
Yeah, unbelievable, mate. The crap. Even as far out as we are from the road build, I probably live half a mile away from the actual build. The dust that's collecting everywhere every day is shit, to tell the truth. If you go into Sidley High Street, you can't breathe. We've got 60 to 70 lorries a day, at least, coming up and down our little high street.
Well, people need to get used to this, because when they come and frack you, it's going to be thousands.
I know. I was pointing out...
This is how they do it.
There was a shopkeeper painting the front of their shop the other week and messing about, so you're wasting your time there, aren't you? And they said, no need to do that, boys. I saw them last week and they went, bloody hell, you were right about that dust, weren't you? They're not
it's sandpaper now, then.
Yeah, they're not standing all the antiques outside anymore.
No, I bet.
You know, but no, it's just the whole value of living. Would that be the thing? Value of living?
No, it's
Quality of life. Our quality of life.
Quality, that's it.
Yeah, our quality of life living here is going down and down and down daily. You know? And, you know, I know it's happened to other people before, but the message we're trying to get out is it's going to come and happen in your village soon.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing that you still have is all the local residents that you can go and help. Yeah, I mean, I know that it's kind of too late for a big chunk of the marsh because they're going to be doing it, but there are still little areas that need looking after, and you know, to be honest, you guys are in the right place with the right mindset to be able to help all these people out.
Yep. Pagan, just going off of Pagan quickly, she's just told me that the letter that she got today says that the Link Road people will decide where the border is, their garden is, not you or your deeds.
Well, that's rubbish, quite frankly. That can't happen unless they've compulsory purchased it, in which case the key word is purchase.
Yeah.
You know, they can't just come in and arbitrarily move your fence. You know, this is getting back to the Enclosures Act, isn't it?
Oh, it's getting back to, I don't know, I really don't know, you know, I'm not too clued up on that sort of thing, but what I just know, it's bloody terrible, mate. You know? And I used to go and see little bits of it, you know, when we used to go to Newbury and we used to go and see, you know, go for a month here or a week there or a couple of months down to Fairmile or whatever, you know, in the 90s and see little bits, but actually seeing the whole thing from beginning to end, it's fucking terrible what they get up to.
Well, they have no duty of care, do they? I mean, every one of us does, but corporations ignore it totally. And, you know, abuse everything as far as I can see.
I've just had another message pop up from a mate, Bob. It says, tell them about the stream on the marsh, Boris. When we walked down today, I walk over there quite often, but my mate from a couple of doors away, Barry, walked down across there with me today. And as we were walking across, there's two rivers, and one of them looks like it's dying and dead, and the other one's got fish on the top of it. You know, both these rivers have always been full of life. These are in the middle of the triple SI bit that they said they're not going to harm. What we're going to try for Monday is to find anybody, if anybody out there can help us with this, we'd like to get an independent testing kit down here. So we can test the rivers ourselves, because we've been told that the stream behind Pagan's house has got E. coli and leptospirosis in it. And where have these things come from? Are they in there, you know? But there's three streams we'd really like to get somebody independent to come and test for us. Does anybody know where we go?
I'm sure that there, you know, will be people out there that do know. And if you do, please help with this, because we're now getting to the point with this particular road scheme where they are just taking liberty after liberty after liberty, and they think no one's there to feel their collar about any of it. So, yeah, I mean, if you can help on any of this, please do. And we're just running up the last minutes of the show now. And would you like to tell us about Earth First, Boris?
Yes, the Earth First camp is going to be in this area. It's going to be on from Wednesday the 7th to Sunday the 11th of August. It's the Earth First Summer Gathering. It's going to be a camp for people from all the different campaigns around the country to come, talk to each other, support each other, learn from each other. You know, it says a place for people supporting radical green direct action to come together, to talk, share skills, learn, listen, play, rant, find out what's going on, scheme together, live outdoors for a while, hang about, have a laugh, experience non-hierarchical, low-impact, family-friendly living. It's a beautiful site. I've been on the site today. It really is a beautiful site. It's a lovely field surrounded by trees, a lovely green field surrounded by trees. The cost is £20 to £30, depending on your income, but you can get meal tickets for £6 a day, which will give you a quality vegan breakfast, lunch and dinner. Dogs, there's limited places for dogs, so let them know beforehand. Anybody wants to find any information, there's nothing on this at the moment, but you can, if you go onto Facebook or the Earth First websites, and put in Earth First Summer Gathering, or even Google Earth First Summer Gathering 2013, you'll find it. I've got to say, it's a great, if anybody wants to come down to help us with law, things like that, it's, it'd be good to share, is what I can say. It'd be a good place and a good time to share. And the weather's meant to be beautiful.
Well, this is what we were hoping. And from a Resistance News point of view, I'm hoping we can get there to do an outside broadcast again. So
we'd love you to get in, Bob.
Hopefully we will be there, and we'll get all you guys in touch with it and post up all the necessary links given half a chance. And I'd just like to thank you, Boris, for your contribution this week. It's been amazing, and just keep up the good work, brother.
No, thanks to you, Bob. Thanks for all the support, mate. Couldn't do it unless we're all a family.
Well, this is it, yeah. And I'd just like to thank Sparky for being in the room, and of course Sudama, who's been tirelessly producing again tonight. Thank you all, guys. And all you people out there, you have a really good week. Enjoy the weather, and we'll see you again next week. Take care.
I had the pleasure of coming into contact with Paul Hayden and all the other great people he is working with at Dark City Radio. Compassion Club Week, to utilize this magnificent plant in every conceivable way. It will do much to promote peace and harmony among nations. Peace and harmony among nations. Being a new beginning for mankind. So I hope you will support our plan to build a better way of life that will give both mankind and this earth as we know it a future.